Greetings everyone, hope you're having a positive and productive day and you are ready for another episode of SwampFox Magfed. Today we're going to be checking out my personal paintball marker for the 2022 season. It just got a brand new paint job as well, so she is looking pristine and ready for this walkthrough video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll the intro and start this video. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of SwampFox Magfed. Again, thank you so much for being here, and I hope you're having a positive and productive day. Today, for this video, we are going to be checking out my personal marker for the 2022 season. Like I said, she just got a brand new paint job for this year, and so she is looking pristine for this cribs video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check her out. This is my personal EMF100. I guess it's an Inception Design body on it, so Inception Design MG100, whatever you want to call it. But here she is. It's a little bit longer, so I kept the tank on too, just to kind of give you an idea of the whole setup. Obviously it's a little bit of it's not really super long, but just the angle that I have with the camera, it's harder to get the whole thing in the frame. But here's the other side. We'll go back to front this time. And there she is, the hotness. So let's go ahead and cover this thing from end to end. Let's start at the front. This is just a little like AK barrel tip. Ended up getting this with my AK body from Magfed Maker. And I just think it's kind of cool. It kind of reminds me of like the Star Wars Han Solo blaster tip. And so it's fun. It doesn't really serve a purpose. It just looks kind of cool, so I kept it on there. Especially when I'm using a box. It kind of looks cool because it has that big AK end to it. Moving back, I've got a carbon fiber barrel. Currently I run the Deadly Winds barrel. It's the Fiber X, I believe. And so that way I can run a majority of the paintball that I play is round ball. And so that way I can run a insert kit just to make sure that whatever field I'm at, I have a bore size that's going to work well with the paint. As you can see here, this is the 14-inch, so it's just a little bit longer. I do like a little bit of a break between the two. I think it looks kind of cool, and so I opted to go ahead and keep it with a little bit longer barrel. So this here, I've just got a little M-lock rail. It came off an airsoft gun. It's a little bit lighter, and so I didn't really do a crazy amount of shopping. When I went to find this, it was just something I had. I have a lot of extra gun parts and craziness at the house, and so I opted to Frankenstein something together. And of the few that I had, this is the one that worked the best. It's light. It does have the QD attachment here built in on both sides, which I think is really cool. And I've got a little M-lock foregrip on the bottom here, and I've got this thing all the way back. Just because the tank that I use, it is a little bit more compact, and so sometimes I appreciate a little bit of a longer grip, just so when I'm shouldering this thing, it's not too close, because sometimes this is too close. So I like having this for a little bit more of a longer reach. Nice, lightweight. This is my first time using an M-lock platform, and I really do like it. Up front here, you can see I have my camera mount, and so it mounts underneath here. So that way the camera sits up high, which I like, and it still sits at a low enough profile that it doesn't really impact my vision too much. And that's really one of the biggest things too with running the camera up front, is it is important to get a good angle with your camera, but at the same time I need to see. So I've played with a couple different platforms to get this exactly how I want it, and this is the one that has worked the best. It gives a good eyesight or eye line point of view, but at the same time it's not so tall that it obstructs my vision and it makes it hard to play. So okay, moving on. This is the Inception Designs body. Now I've had a couple different bodies. I started with the stock like everyone else. I upgraded and got the Magfed Maker AK body, which I enjoyed. But the only downside to that body is it didn't have an eye system. And I ended up trying the eye system from MCS and I really enjoyed it. And once I started using it, I wanted my next paintball body to have that option as well. And so that's why I landed on this here. Now, Inception did a great job. Full metal body. It's got the rail system up top. And then as you can see here, I have my eye system built in. I believe it's called the Stop Shot. And I absolutely love it. Been rocking it for, I want to say almost a year now, and the thing just works flawlessly. Now, I did lose my Stop Shot one time at a Magfed game, and I left all my spare parts at home, so that kind of sucked. It can't happen, but other than that, that was just more user error. You just got to check it. Check it every time you use it, just to make sure, and carry your spare parts. But yeah, like the body so far. Some people complain about the weight. I don't really feel a huge difference. I mean, I'm using a small tank, you know, you're running mags, you're not really using a hopper, and so I don't really feel like weight's a super big issue. Worst case, just get stronger. You don't have to worry about it. All right. I do have a little bit of customization on mine. I don't know if you can see it, but I smoothed all of this out here, and as you can tell, I just have stipple now. Just one nice stipple texture. And I did the same with the grips here. You can still kind of see a little bit of the raise, but I just stippled over all of it just to give it a little bit more of a texture. I did the same on the other side. I just wanted a little bit different of a look with my lower, and really dug it. Now, there are some things I probably would have done first, looking back on it now, but I still think it turned out well, and it just makes the gun a little bit more unique. And then going to the back side of the marker, as you can tell, I got a little optic here. So this is just the die, I guess it's the iZone Sight remake. They came out with the die dams when they relaunched those. And I think 2011, 2012, and this is the optic that I currently run all the time. Now, for round ball, I don't really use an optic. There's really not a point, and so that's why this thing is kicked off at a 45, so that way I can look down the barrel when I am just playing round ball. But on those every few weekends when I play First Strike, I do have an optic if I need it. And that way I can just set that up and it's not in my face all the time, and it doesn't require any batteries. And that's one of the big things I like about this whole setup is it's all mechanical. There's no batteries, there's no BS. It just freaking runs. And that's one of the big issues with a lot of the paintball markers is people buy all these batteries and cameras and all this shit. And I mean, I don't know if you guys have tried to run any of that stuff, but it's a lot. You gotta charge all the batteries, you gotta do all this, that, and the third. And so it's nice just to have a marker that is mechanical. Mechanical sights, mechanical marker, no batteries, just air and go. And so when I built this one, after my die dam that I used previously, that was one of the big goals for it, was just usability, functionality, and I want it just to run regardless of the condition. And I really think that we hit the head with this. And so that's why, like I said, I've got this optic here. I've tried a few different sites, and this is just the one that I always come back to. So if you can find one, I'd recommend it. Especially if you're like me and you've played a lot of speedball. I'm not looking to be like a super tactical dude. I mean, I've spent time in the military and I've done all that stuff. And so truthfully, this is just a fun, unique way for me to enjoy the sport of paintball. And so that's why my gun looks more of a hybrid. You know, it has a couple of features up front to allow me to record, but it still is very much paintball with your typical stock. And that's kind of the way I like it. I don't need this super realistic rifle setup that makes me look like I'm some sort of dude out of a video game. Not really into that. So, but lastly, now that we're off my rant, lastly, we're going to the tank here. Right now, I'm running a Ninja 13 CI 3000 tank. I can get 7 to 8 mags off of a 3000 fill, which I think is plenty. I do have the new carbon pack, and I run 6 mags off of that, and so one game or one loadout, you know, I've got all my mags on my back, and we're good to play it for 2 games. So I'm thinking in the future I might upgrade to get the 45, the 1545, but it is rather expensive. So for the time being, this is my setup. This is what we're going to be rocking this year. Like I said, the only thing that may change is an upgrade in the tank, but other than that, this is the way we're going to keep it. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you guys so much. Again, I appreciate all your support, and leave a comment below. Let me know what marker you use, how long you used it for. If you're in the hunt for a new marker, I'd love to hear from you guys. So, as always, guys, thank you again so much. Have a positive and productive day, and we will see you on the field.